Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel. We are back to watch another episode of Andor, live-action Star Wars show. Easily, in my opinion, the best live-action Star Wars television show that we've ever gotten. Better than some of the animated stuff. I think some of the best animated stuff is still maybe slightly better, or at least more emotionally impacting. But this is easily the best written Star Wars show that we've ever gotten. I feel like every episode is just so tense and so engaging, and the dialogue is excellently written, and it's just, I'm like glued to the screen, and I wish more people were watching it. Like it's so insanely good. One thing I didn't pick up on last episode, one of the prisoners that he is in the prison with, Melshi, is in Rogue One, I guess. I guess I'm not that big of a Star Wars nerd that I recognized that, but I probably should have. I feel like if I go back and watch that movie, I would see Melshi like everywhere, but I didn't remember him at all from that movie. So I think I was more distracted by the dude that was named Ham. But yeah, we left off with Cassian in prison, just trying to do his dangdest to stay alive. He's noticing things everywhere. Like, he's picking up on things. He's very observant. So I think he's gonna maybe break out in this episode, or in the last three at some point. He's got to break out. So yeah, I'm very excited to jump into it. So before we do that, if you end up enjoying my reaction, please leave a like on the video. Helps my channel out a ton. If you're new here, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload, especially if you want to see me react to more Star Wars content. I just reacted to all of Tales of the Jedi in the last week, and I've obviously reacted to every episode of Andor so far, plus tons of other Star Wars stuff on the channel. So if you're interested in seeing more of that going forward, hit subscribe. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, or you just want to support me in general, consider checking out my Patreon that's linked in the description below. Your support over there would mean the absolute world. You would be my new favorite person on the entire planet. So, other than that, let's jump into episode 9 of Andor. Oh, the neck crack. She's so angry all the time. She just seems disgusted with everything.
You pull in the net, and the easy thing, the quick thing, is to assume that everything you've dragged to shore is a fish.
Gotta sift through it. Gotta sift through the BS and find the truth of your torture.
You're in my net, Biggs. Are you a fish or are you a thief?
She's so intimidating.
Now, I would prefer a conversation rather than put Dr. Gorst back to work. But that, for the moment, is entirely up to you.
Well, Gorst might as well earn his paycheck. Just lie. Just lie the whole time.
I signal. Sometimes he answers. He comes, he buys, he leaves.
6 face-to-face meetings.
I mean, she would recognize his face.
When was the last time you spoke with Cassian Andor?
Thursday.
You're not gonna believe me anyway, are you?
Are you guys gonna kiss? Getting real close.
No.
Do it.
I could use a proper meal. 2 left of bread.
Ooh, old man's struggling.
The twitch. What? Come on.
Right,
Yeah.
switch up.
Why?
Keep us fast.
There's a better way of saying that. The hand.
He's better.
You know the drill.
He's making friends and disrupting systems.
There's an outer rim moon called Dizon Frey. There was a sentient species there, quite unusual. Extremely hostile to the concept of an Imperial refueling center that was being planned.
Indeed. They had to be
Local
wiped
commanders were
out.
granted permission to use any means necessary, and well,
Have we heard about these people before?
They make a sound as they die, a sort of choral, agonized pleading.
Oh.
Quite unlike anything anyone
You
has ever
straight
heard
up, you know,
before.
torture her with sound. Like when the CIA would play like Barney for terrorists.
Found a section of what we believe are primarily children, which has its own.
That's awful.
Doesn't take long.
Are you gonna play the sound of alien children screaming for me?
It's repeat listenings that cause the most damage. Are we ready?
I feel like the CIA did this, or like Homeland Security or someone did this, where they would play. Ooh, the choice to not actually play the sound. Wow. Like I was saying, I'm pretty sure the US government did that to like terrorists, where they would just play like the Barney theme song for hours on end. Which I'm sure is equivalent to children screaming. I thought that was John Boyega for a second. The guy could be John Boyega's little brother.
On program. New man on the floor. Everyone hold positions.
2 men back. 2 weapons. No boots.
No boots indeed.
Silence! He's touching the rail. The elevator's not wired. Nothing that moves can fry you.
Ooh, smart, smart, smart. Oh my god. That is awful. I feel like that's the type of thing you don't ever forget.
We're up Iraq with an hour left.
What? What's on now?
We just talked about this. He told you 2 minutes ago.
Is he having memory loss? Cassian, are you gonna kill this guy? So that you don't get pulled back?
The Public Order Resentencing Directive is the next step on an all too predictable march toward complete, unchallenged authority.
For real, though.
Those of you who still believe that when we enter this building, we are in a temple.
She is, her words are falling on deaf ears.
What's going on? What are they saying?
I think it's level 2.
What's going on level 2?
Well, what's he saying?
Ooh.
What was that?
The power just turned off. For what reason?
It's 2. Something's wrong on 2. They're going too fast. I can't read it.
Everybody calm down!
Something's really wrong on 2.
What's going on 2? What is going on?
It's amazing.
Oh, it is Vel.
Your father may have an opinion. We'll see if he lets you wear it.
He lets me do anything I want.
Wow. What shade.
Where have you been?
Traveling.
6 months?
Do they not know that each other are in the rebellion?
The Empire doesn't rest, Mon.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
You took a vow. It fits.
Wow, you changed real fast.
How many guards on each level?
You want out of here alive?
He knows all the
That
answers,
part of
probably.
your mind.
many shifts you have left?
217.
They'll just add more. You're too productive to let go.
Melch is right. We're cheaper than droids and easier to replace.
Good luck to you.
You're trying to connect Aldani? That's a bit of a stretch.
He was clean-shaven.
It's connected though.
They don't know about it. They were fried out.
They're all gone.
They killed
both shifts.
all of level 2.
Can't be right.
You heard nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, they were making trouble.
On program, feet down.
We set them all free.
Gino! Program! Gino! I need to be careful.
Hold your program!
He's freaking out.
Tighten up and listen!
He is freaking out, knowing they could fry them at any second. Wow. Andy Serkis is such a good actor. Holy cow. You can, like, see his perception of this place shattering.
Who left? Come on, mate.
Yo, this old man is not keeping up anymore. At a certain point, you gotta let him go.
Find yourself a husband?
No, because she's gay.
You need a widower at this point. Who's left of any value at your age?
Oof, okay, rude.
All the good ones are taken.
Be a spoiled rich girl for a while. Remind people that's who you are.
We'll try.
What have we done, Belle?
We've chosen a side.
You've started something greater than yourselves. Dang.
Syril Karn.
I know who you are. What are you doing here?
He wants to actually be promoted. Oh no, he did get promoted? Okay.
Have you been waiting out here?
Yeah.
I'd never lie to you.
You in love with her?
Are you stalking me?
A little bit, a little bit.
I work here. I come sometimes to see if I'll see you.
I am an ISB supervisor. Do you have any idea how much trouble you're in right now?
Are things about to turn kinky?
I thought I was done. After meeting you and discovering you understood how dangerous Cassian Andor was, and just being in your presence, I realized that life was worth living.
Okay, Syril, simp harder, brother. Simp.
Perhaps my deranged belief that there was something better fated for me in the future was a dream.
She is like half disgusted and half loving this.
You were arrested. You were aware of that.
You guys should bone, honestly. The sexual tension
You're
here
out of your
is
mind. I have
palpable.
already given you a second chance. You come near me again, you pursue any of this, and I swear I'll have you in a cage on the Outer Rim.
He might like that. If it's from you, he might accept that gladly. Syril said, "Mommy?" Yo, Dedra just got herself a new simp.
There's a 400,000 credit withdrawal that's proving a bit of a problem. It needs to be papered over.
I need a loan.
Davos Calden.
Who's that?
He is not a banker. He's a thug.
Oh, like a mob boss.
He wants to meet you. He wants to meet here.
Ooh. Getting a loan from a mob boss is not smart. People die when you do that.
We've got a rebel pilot in custody, one of Anto Krieger's group. He was picked up at a customs check. We don't think Krieger knows he's gone missing yet.
Is this a plant?
Planned on the power station at Spellhouse.
Where was he heading?
On his way to Kafrine.
They'll count him missing soon enough.
Exactly.
Is Spellhouse the spot that Luthen was talking to Saw about last episode. Old man's not working fast enough.
Inmates on program. Program in place.
Damn, he is deteriorating so quickly.
On program.
Come in.
He's gonna get fried because he can't stand up straight. Is he having a seizure right now? Dang, he is.
He needs a doctor. It's the cell.
He's straight up just gonna die.
Hang in there, Olaf. You've only got a few shifts left.
He's not gonna make it to those shifts. Like he's not going home.
Haven't seen you for a while. I haven't gone anywhere. Look at me, brother.
His name is Olaf.
I don't want to know his name.
He's gonna die.
We just want something to get him through the next few days.
He doesn't want to know his name because he's gonna die.
He's had a massive stroke. I can't help him.
He's ending it.
I can't help anyone. I need a bag and a trolley.
It's coming.
They already had it coming.
What happened on level 2?
Well, yeah, what happened?
You feel nothing.
He feels responsible for these men, and they're being thrown away. He's truly realizing like how just how disposable they are. He thinks, you know, when my shifts add up, I'll get out of here. But he's not going to get out.
They made a mistake. A man who was just released on 4 ended up back on 2 the next day. Word got out on the floor and then they killed them all.
So even when they release them, they're not actually released. They just go to a different floor. You never get out.
Getting out, are they?
Not ever.
This. At least your friend is free.
You two, on program now.
He only has 200 shifts left. He realizes that's not happening.
Let's go.
Freaking tornado warning. Why is that happening?
How many guards?
First Wednesday of the month at 1 p.m. obviously. Oh, that last line. That last line. He's been refusing to answer the question the whole time. And now that he realizes he's never getting out, he says with conviction, never more than 12. Oh! It also shows that he has been watching just the same. Holy cow. God, this show is so freaking good. Just what they can convey. The things that they can convey about the characters and about the world using so little dialogue, just using looks here and there, small bits of dialogue, small bits of information, and the way they're able to tell that story is just masterful. Like, this is so good. All right, first let's talk about Bix and a little bit about Dedra. So they bring in Bix to be tortured, and she tells her, essentially, like, she's like, we're gonna torture you no matter what, so like, we just have to be patient and sift through what you're going to tell us. But she tells her a story about some commandos that were, you know, sent essentially to quash rebellious activity on another planet, killing all the aliens that were there. And the screams of these aliens drove them insane, essentially. And the ISB, being the awful organization that they are, realized, hey, we could use that for torture. And very reminiscent of actual world history, I believe, right? Because this is the type of torture that I believe the United States government would do. I don't remember specifically like who they used it on, whether it was like people in Guantanamo Bay or the head of Al Qaeda or whoever. But I believe they would play music for them, but like not enjoyable music. Like they would crank like the Barney theme song, and this is what we always heard growing up, is that they would crank like children's shows theme songs and just play it for them like on an endless loop for hours and hours and hours, and they'd come back like 2 days later and these people would just be like insane. So that feels very reminiscent of United States history, especially when you consider that the Empire in Star Wars is the United States. We're the bad guys. And they use this on Bix, and the creative choice, I loved, like, even though it's horrifying, the creative choice to not play what Bix is hearing. Like, she hears it, and you can tell it is horrific, but we just have to sit there and watch her in agony, and then she starts screaming. That was a heck of a choice, and it is essentially just like takes her out completely, where she is like barely even like conscious moving forward. That was insane. Just wow. And Dedra, she is ruthless, and she is doing what she needs to do, and she is figuring things out. She is methodically working her way through this rebellious conspiracy, trying to find, it's kind of interesting, they're trying to find Cassian, and he's just in prison. Like, they already got him. If they would just stop, if they would just chill out. I mean, I guess they're also trying to find Luthen. But if they would just, like, check their own, prison registry, like, right? Didn't they take a picture of him when he went into prison? Can't they cross-reference that somehow? I feel like they should be able to get this info. She's just so dedicated, and she has found a brand new simp for her cause. She is Mesa Windu from TikTok and Twitter and such, where he's been simping after Dedra for like weeks. Now Syril Karn is a brand new simp supreme. He's going up to her and is like, yo, I thought I was gonna end it all. My life sucked. I thought the world was awful and I was ready to die. And then I met you, and you and your brutalist nature have shown me that life is worth living. And now I want to dedicate myself to you and to the cause that you are about. And he's essentially being like, I want you to call me a disgusting little worm and step on me. And she is like, it's like so hard to tell. Like, she's like simultaneously disgusted with him. Like, she is like, how dare this cretin like speak to me? But also like somewhat giving off the vibes of like, she could be into this. It very much weirdly kind of reminds me of some of the interactions with in Succession between Roman, right? That's one of the main family, like the goofy troublemaker of the siblings, right? And the assistant, where like their whole sexual kink is her like degrading him and just like calling him like a dirty little inchworm that's like not worthy of her time. And that scene where she's like talking to him on the bridge just immediately gave me those vibes of like she would dominate him in the bedroom. And she would absolutely have her way with him. Like, she would be some like BDSM like just like dominatrix in bed with him. And he would love it. He you know, that interaction was the personification of step on me mommy. Like, oh my God, I could feel the sexual tension even if they don't necessarily feel it. It's whoo baby. And and they're figuring stuff out, and then they caught some other pilot or something who has information about Spellhouse, which I think is the spot that Luthen brought up to Saw Gerrera last episode, that he wanted Saw Gerrera to work with some guy to take down Spellhouse. And so theoretically that could come to a conflict as well. So we'll see what happens there. Mon Mothma gets well, first she's not chilling. She's talking to the rest of the Senate and trying to like win over the Senate with her rightfully worthy cause. Like, she's like, yo, this overreach is just the next step on the road to complete and total authority from the Emperor. And they're just like subtly, slowly, like, she's losing the rest of the senators. They're just ignoring her, right? They've kind of accepted that all this is happening, or they just don't care. And the fact that she is continuing to harp on that, they probably just find annoying. And they're like, turn you off, turn you off, turn you off. And then her cousin comes to visit, and we find out that her cousin is Vel. So when Cinta last episode was like, maybe I'm a rich girl running from her family, that's exactly what Vel is she is a rich girl running from her status and money. And her and Mon Mothma are both rebels, like absolute rebels, which this leads me to think that maybe Vel is going to die by the end of this series, and maybe something will happen to Mon Mothma's daughter and husband as well that will further radicalize her, because we know she gets blamed for, right? Like, there's the Gorman massacre or something, right? Like, all these Gormans die, and she either gets blamed or she calls it out in public, and then she has her like broadcast that she does that we saw in Rebels. But right now she has to get in bed with a mob boss, I believe is the gist of it, because she needs 400,000 credits to cover up some rebel activity that she's been doing, right? Because they withdrew 400K. One, why would you withdraw 400K in a lump sum, you dumbass? like split it up. It's a lot easier to cover your steps with 4,000 credit things, right, than 400,000 credit withdrawal. Like, whoever withdrew that's a knucklehead. Like, embezzle money much? Come on, you rookie. But no, so she's got to get in bed with I think a mob boss, and take a loan, which is probably gonna yeet the interest rate of that loan so high she's gonna get in a lot of trouble, and might spell disaster for Mon Mothma going forward. We will find out. But then the biggest sense of tension in this episode is in the prison. So a couple things. One, we have that old man who is just struggling. Like, every time we catch up to him, he is just struggling to keep up when it comes to building their stuff. And it's clear that something has to change, because the more he struggles, the farther behind they're going to get. Because when he was working at his like not his prime shape, because he's like super old, but like when he was not being affected by an oncoming stroke, he was competent. Like, he was working hard enough to move them along, and I feel like they were close or at the top of the leaderboards every time. But as he falls farther and farther behind, it is becoming more noticeable, and it's having a detriment on their workload. Luckily, they didn't come in last place. and we'll get to more about him in a little bit, but Cassian is working, he's talking with some of the other boys in prison, right? The guy that I initially thought was John Boyega, I was like, what the frick? He could be like a cousin or like a younger brother of John Boyega. He looks so much like him. They're noticing things about like what is electrified and what's not. Like the lift that brings them up and down, not electrified. Just piece by piece by piece, they're picking up little things here and there, small little things that will help them escape when the time comes. They are doing something in the bathroom where they're like shaving a pipe. Is that like it's like a sewage pipe or an electricity pipe? Like, is that gonna cut the power? Like, when the lift goes down, do they finish shaving that thing and then the power goes off? I don't know. But they're continually picking more things up and piecing together things that will help them, right? But then something's going down on 2. About 18 minutes into this episode, we see something's going down on 2. People are freaking out. Like, what is happening? Something happened on 2. The power goes out. You know, what is going on? And it just causes this stir. There's people questioning things. Cassian talking to Andy Serkis's character, he's like, bro, he's trying to get info from him. He's like, you never thought about escaping? Like, he's trying to essentially get him on board the whole we need to escape plan. And the journey that Andy Serkis's character goes on through this episode is insane, right? Like, because right now he's fully confident in his position in this prison, right? He's like, I'm in charge of these spots. Like, I am in charge of all these dudes for 200 more shifts, and then I'm out of here. I'm released. I'm going home. And he's confident in that, and he's like, he thinks that he has some value to them, right? And that because he is providing value for them, they will, you know, scratch his back when it's time and let him out, right? He's trying to make his last days here as good as he can make them. And over the course of this situation, he's realizing something's wrong. Like, things are going on that he's not aware of. And they realize that they fried 100 men. All of level 2, day shift and night shift. They killed them all. And everyone's wondering, like, what the frick is going on? Why did they kill them? He's like, keep your men in line. So he's thinking like, oh, I might get killed, right? Because all these dudes are fermenting rebellion in this prison. He's like, I might get murdered. And it's just, it's building, and the tension is palpable, and it just keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. And then Olaf essentially has a stroke mid-shift while they're supposed to be, you know, on program. And the med tech comes in to help him, but he's not there to help him. He's literally just there to kill him. And they're questioning. They're like, why are you just going to kill him? Like, he's only got 20, 40 shifts left. Like, why? Just come on. Like, just get him back on his feet so he can live out the rest of his days, you know, doing his shifts, and then he can go home. Like, I don't get what the problem is. And he's like, oh, he is gonna, you know, sooner or later, you guys are gonna be wishing that you had what I'm giving him. And they're like, what the fuck do you mean? What do you mean? And it turns out one of the guys from level 4, whose sentence ran out, like he was supposed to be released, instead of sending this guy home into the free world, they just sent him down to floor number 2. And word got out that they were just recycling prisoners and that they're never actually going to get out. And so they killed everybody on that floor. And Andy Serkis's character realizes, he's like, bro, this deadline that I've been holding in my mind of like, I'm finally getting out, in this many days. Like, that's the whole reason he's been complying with everything that's been going on. That's the whole reason he's been a good little prisoner, a good little helper, right? Is because he thinks, I only have so many shifts left, I'm getting out of here. But now he realizes he's never getting out of here. Like, no matter what they do, you are in here until you die. Whether that be from them killing you or you killing yourself, you are far cheaper than droids and you are far easier to replace. And just the final line is just killer, right? The question that Cassian asks him that he's been refusing to answer the whole episode, how many guards are on each level? You know, the whole episode he's like, I'm not talking about that. Like, get that talk out of your mind. You're gonna get us in trouble. And then now that he realizes that no matter how good he is, no matter how high he scores, he is never getting out and he'll just be recycled onto a different floor, he answers Cassian's question with absolute conviction and bitterness and this underlying rage underneath. And he says, never more than 12. Like, all the info that Cassian needs, he's picking up all the info to formulate this escape, and he just got probably one of the biggest key pieces of info he's needed this whole time. How many guards are on each level? Never more than 12. The episode that he got here, right? I think he's probably timed how long it takes for a guard to get from one level to the next, because they were short-staffed initially when he got there, and I think the guard was coming from a different level and it took him a little bit to get there. So now he's realizing, like, if there's 12 people, you know, per level, if we take out these 12 guards, it'll take them however long to get up to this level again. We could legitimately escape. Now, I don't know how they're going to escape. You know, what shuttle are they going to use? Very curious about how that's going to go, but dang, like, so intense. We are now 3/4 of the way through this season, so there's 12 episodes total. We are done with 9, so we got 3 episodes left and then 12 episodes next season. I wonder if the full last 3 episodes are going to be focused on Cassian escaping prison, or, you know, how long is it going to take him, right? Maybe episode 11 he escapes from prison, and then episode 12 sets up the role that he is going to have in the rebellion going forward, because second season covers a 4-year time span. So very, very curious to see what happens. This show is incredible. Very, very excited for next week. Can't wait. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode down in the comments below. Are you loving this as much as I am? Definitely leave a comment. If you enjoyed my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a ton to me and it helps my videos get seen more. If you're new here, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider supporting me on Patreon. That would mean the absolute world. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.